Something I want more of is patience. I don't know where I'm trying to rush off to anyway. You know, I've had many experiences where I try to rush things, and I can't think of, timing is important, but the feeling of rushing to something, of hurrying, I've never had an experience where I look back on it and feel glad that I rushed or hurried. Well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes we're gonna miss the train, and you run fast to catch it. But there's something that seems a little different between that and rushing and hurrying. I think rushing and hurrying, they're kind of more like an internal relationship. There are definitely times to move fast, and there are times to move slow. But I think rushing implies maybe too fast, like for what you're ready for, or hurrying is kind of like a state of, oh, gotta go. As opposed to, okay, I'm going to miss my trains at this time. I'm going to try and run as fast as I can to get it. And if I miss it, it's still okay. But there's also like something about pace as well, like keeping a steady pace. And having patience that the right waves will come. I say waves because this week I did my best to learn how to surf, and I was pretty successful. I would say that I kind of know how to surf. Of course, I'm terrible at it, and I'm a brand new beginner, but I can kind of do it, whatever it is, the very, very baseline first stages of it. And I have a new name for surfing. Surfing should be called paddle and wait. That's really what it is. Paddle and wait. And then occasionally a wave will come along, and then you do your best and fall, or maybe you do your best and stand up and ride the wave, and the wave feels sweet. And I think it's kind of like life. Like, most of the time we're paddling and waiting, and then opportunities come along and you do your best, and then you fall off and get pummeled, and then you paddle back out and you wait some more, and occasionally you catch a wave and you stand up, and man, it feels good. Like you're just soaring, But then either you fall or the wave ends, and then you paddle and wait. And there's something that feels like it's disappointing in a way. It feels like, oh man, I wish more of life was the soaring feeling. Maybe I do wish more of life was the soaring feeling. Just the unstoppable, just riding this force far greater than yourself, surging forward with the wind in your hair and the sun streaming down and sparkling water below. But it doesn't appear to be what it is. But I think that's cool. And people love surfing. People go all over the world to surf. And I kind of love it now too, even though I'm just starting. It's pretty awesome. And the paddling and the wading, are very, very much worth it to people who surf, especially people who surf well. And the more skilled they become at surfing, the more time it seems they can spend with the soaring feeling. And the wading also becomes nice too. And the paddling strengthens you, and you bob up and down and rest on the board, and it's quiet. And you hear the crashing of the waves all around you. And having the patience to wait for a good wave to give it your best shot actually gives you a better chance of catching that soaring feeling. Instead of if you paddle frantically at every wave that comes along, if you rush, if you hurry, like, I want to paddle out there and get the first wave as much as I can. Go. You just keep that attitude. Keep going. I gotta get the wave. Got the wave. There's probably a much lower chance that you'll really really catch a wave, and certainly a much lower chance that you'll learn how to be patient and how to wait for a wave that's worth trying, and then be really ready to try. Really try to catch it. Really doing your best to catch the wave, while also being okay, knowing that, at least for those of us like myself who are beginners, will very likely end up flat on our face, smashed into the sand, or tumbling over and over. But also knowing and believing and having faith that through that process, in a way that you can't predict and in a time that can't be determined, you will, Lord willing, learn how to pop up on your knees, and maybe 1 foot and maybe 2 feet, and maybe ride a little and fall off, and then maybe start to ride and then try bigger waves. Right? Try new spots. And the process continues. It's kind of like, you're either growing or dying, and maybe you're either learning or losing. Right? You're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no real I'm just here. Except when you're just here, except when you're just riding the wave, or you're just sitting on the board, or you're just paddling. But in terms of your skill and your relationship to the process, there's no just, I am this skill level. Always in the process of learning or in the process of losing, I would say. And it sort of reframes it a little, because there isn't really a amount of skill that I want. Because whatever amount of skill I acquire, I would like to participate in the process still and get better. There are certainly markers you could conceive of where you have more or less fun. And I'm glad, because I feel like the surfing this week, I got to sort of the first checkpoint of okay, I can maybe go out there and have some fun. And in life, I'm wanting to learn more patience. I'm wanting to learn to be more okay, to be in the process, even in areas of my life which are much more emotionally close to me than surfing. And I want to really know and feel like no matter what happens, I'm still going to be in the process. Yes, there will be waves and there will be moments of exhilaration and joy and connection and all these great things, but still be in the process. And yeah, on one level, it feels a little disappointing, but more really, it's kind of liberating because I'm already here. I'm already in the process. So there's nowhere really to go. There's nowhere really to change. Like, it's just going to be more process. And that's really nice because I don't have to judge myself for not being arrived, because there is no arrival. At least not, I don't think, before death. But maybe that's something like the arrival, is the acceptance that there is no arrival. And the recognition that that's good. Because what would such an arrival mean? I don't think it even exists, like, as a possibility. So what am I sad that there's not? I don't think anything. And yet, there is still longing. And yet, there gets to be longing. We get to be missing something, and then strive after it. And so we get meaning. And I think meaning is like the best thing there is. So we get the best thing there is because we can never have what we want. We get the best thing there is because we can never have what we want. We get the best thing there is because we can never have what we want. And we can never have what we want. So then what is wanting? What is wanting? So then what is wanting? What is wanting? Wanting is maybe the way we think about what we're drawn to. So it's a story we tell ourselves about what we're drawn to. And then about the lack of successfully connecting to what we're drawn to. About wanting to be with something or someone or some people or some time or some place or some feeling and not being there. About seeking to be different than we are in this way or that way. But why do we seek to be different? or to have different. Or it could be a variety of reasons depending on what the thing is, or the person, or the place, or the experience. Lots of whys. But what's the underlying why? The underlying why is because we feel like something's missing. But there will never be a time where it doesn't seem like something's missing. So then why do we bother wanting at all in the first place if it will never be fulfilled? Well, things do get fulfilled, like drinking water and having companionship, and just temporarily fulfilled. But the thing underneath, the act of wanting will never be fulfilled. We will always have that aspect of ourselves that wants, and then it can be applied in various contexts. So when you're like dying of thirst, like you don't care about how much money you have or your girlfriend, or like, and maybe you care about people you love, like your girlfriend, like, but like you don't care about, like, when you're dying of thirst, you don't care about like how much money you have or getting this new piece of film equipment, or even if you're single or not. Like you just want to drink water, right? You're wanting the skill or the faculty of wanting is a piece of who you are, which is good, but it's being used up in the primary search for water. And so that skill and faculty is always a part of you, but because of that, it always is engaged. It always is directed towards something. And it wouldn't be good just to turn off your wanting. You would just never eat or sleep. You just sort of die, right? The longing is necessary. It's wonderful. It keeps us in motion. It's also just a way of perceiving the path, the direction of our being. Like it's one perspective or context to describe what's happening here. Is things being drawn to other things, like gravity. That's probably a little more like it. Like we're drawn to water, like almost by gravity. Like the way mass is drawn together, where we have attraction in various combinations. But so then what do I want in relationship to my faculty of wanting? I want to feel more that whatever kinds of things I want, I don't really know, but I don't want to hurry. I don't want to rush. I don't want to. If I'm dying of thirst and the water's before me, I want to run to it with haste, with speed, with quickness. But I don't want to rush to the water and knock it over, knock my last cup over, and die looking at it soaking into the ground. I want to I want to not deny my wants, while also not I want to release the delusion that if the non-existential wants, like not like eating and drinking and sleeping, like other than those, and breathing, of course, that those will come for me and to me in waves, and I can become more or less skilled at seizing the opportunity, not just to see the wave and ride it, but to learn about waves, to learn about how they move and how they flow and what they are, and learn in my ability to surf them, and to be in the process of engaging with the waves of my desires, so that when opportunities arise, I can do my best. I can do my best to seize the moment and soar, and also know that it's not always going to happen. I'm going to, perhaps more often even, just plant on my face. But hopefully through the plants and the planting on the face and the successes and the soaring, hopefully through both those things, I can become a little bit more skillful, so that maybe I can again have patience and paddle out and wait for another wave, and then this time maybe have a little bit of a better chance of soaring, but still being okay if I don't, and knowing that one day there will be the last wave, and no matter how good I get at surfing, one day I'll let go of the board and just sink below the frothy water and dissolve back into the wave itself, perhaps, or something like that. And then maybe those questions cease, and all the desires are truly resolved, and there is no more longing. And that is surely beautiful and perfect, but also maybe something like, the never getting what we want allows us to have the best thing there is. I don't know, but something like that. Adios, amigos.